as Angela always says, small changes add up to big results. And I would say that's true with this course. Every week when I listen to the materials, I will think about what is the one small change that I can try in my classroom this week.
This has really transformed how I teach, how I relate to my students, and how I organize my classroom. So I can't say enough good things about the club.
It has made me a better teacher. It has made me a better mom. It has made me a better wife. And I truly believe it's made me a better coworker, because people are seeing that you don't have to do all of this to be good.
I don't think this club is just about working less. It is about making you a better teacher. And that's what I want to be. I want to be the best teacher I can be.
Overall, my mental and emotional and physical health have changed dramatically from the program as well. And that, I would say, is much more important than any career gain that I've had.
I've appreciated having all of these resources at my fingertips. I don't have to reinvent the wheel. I can go there and get support and see ideas and see other people being encouraged. That also encourages me.
If you're looking for balance, this is the club for you. It's not just one more thing to do. It's a support system.
Hey there, friends. It's Angela. I wanted to open this little in-between podcast seasons bonus episode with some words from 40-Hour Teacher Workweek members. And in particular, I want you to hear what this next person has to say, because I think it really sets the tone for what I want to share with you in the rest of this episode. Listen in.
What the 40-Hour Teacher Club provides is quite possibly the most comprehensive support for a problem that has been too long ignored: the overburdened teacher. I don't believe I'm overstating it when I say that the ideas and the delivery method of this club could possibly save the profession. You get the most current tools to automate, delegate, or eliminate many of your tasks, but also the necessary tools to change your mindset towards your time by giving yourself permission to make priorities and create boundaries. And just as important, you get similar-minded teachers. The support of this tribe is invaluable, as your newfound freedom will be met with confusion and yes, sometimes even resentment from other teachers who may have surrendered their lives to the classroom. I wish I had participated in this program in my first few years of teaching. Too much time was spent neglecting other passions and loved ones, and this time could have actually even benefited my students. You will never regret participating in the 40-Hour Teacher Club. Quite frankly, it's nothing short of a revolution.
When I heard those words, it really touched me, because I think what's needed right now in education is nothing short of a revolution. And if I can play some small role in that, it is the honor of my life. So when I talk about the 40-Hour Teacher Workweek program, I hope you hear this not as one giant advertisement, but as one element of the work that I do to help transform the profession. And in fact, I think it's one of the most powerful things that I do. It has some of the biggest impact because it's such a comprehensive program, and it provides that full year of support. You never lose access to the resources. Lots of teachers work back through them for 2, 3, 4, 5 years even. But having that dedicated support and focus for a whole year really allows folks to create permanent change in the way they approach their job and in the way their school runs. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in a bit. But here's the thing. I'm noticing that many teachers this summer are feeling more exhausted than they did last summer, because for many folks, the challenges of the job have just kept piling up, and the breaks are not sufficient for full recovery. When you're burning out, be it mentally, physically, or emotionally, it can take an extended amount of time to heal that teachers haven't had the luxury for. The challenges that teachers have faced since the start of the pandemic. A short little 6-week summer break in which you're also maybe working a second job and doing professional development and setting up your classroom and everything else, it's just not sufficient, just from the level of burnout that a lot of folks are experiencing. So I feel like for many people right now, and for the profession as a whole, we are at a breaking point, or maybe more accurately, a turning point in the road. Will teachers keep going on the way they have been, or will they choose a different path? And maybe that path is a different grade level or subject area or school or a different district. Maybe it's a different school-based role, or maybe a different career. But for many, the choice will be between continuing in their current role. They either can't make a change, or else don't really want to. In their heart, they love their job, they love their school, they love their kids, they want this to work. And the choice will be between continuing to do things the way they've been doing it, or finding a better way, choosing to see their work through a very different lens that enables them to set boundaries and do fewer things better. And that breaking point, or that turning point in the road, is exactly why I created the 40-Hour Teacher Workweek program, because I saw how many educators are truly dedicated to the field. They love the work, but they just cannot have the life that they want to live with this as their job. It's just so draining and all-consuming, particularly mentally and emotionally, that it just exacts a huge toll. And I wanted to create something that addresses that, so that we can keep our best teachers in the profession, and so that we can help our struggling teachers be their best selves and get to that point of greatness that they have inside of them. So I created the program back in 2015. And despite the 40-Hour Teacher Workweek name, the goal is not actually to work 40 hours a week. The goal is to maximize your contractual work hours, which are usually around 40 hours a week. And when you maximize those contractual hours, then you're not working endlessly on nights and weekends and your summer break. So the average teacher who joins the program is working 62 hours a week at the start. And our surveys show that by the end, the average is 51 hours a week. So it's not a 40-hour work week for most people. Some people certainly work toward that goal. We definitely do have members who do it, but it's not possible for every person's personality type. Some schools are more demanding than others. There's lots of different variables in there too. So it's not about everyone conforming to this 40-hour work week standard. You choose a target number that's realistic for you. But the average member is saving 11 hours a week. So they're going from 62-hour work weeks to 51-hour work weeks. And that's a savings of 500 hours a year. That 500 hours a year is the difference between burning out and making teaching a more sustainable career. And that's my whole goal. I want to help teachers do the work that they love without feeling like it's all consuming for them. So I thought it might be helpful for you to hear directly from folks who joined about what they got out of the program. So I'm going to share some super short clips from a wide range of teachers for you to hear just a little sample of what they're saying.
I have been able to learn so much about productivity.
I feel that my workload is more manageable.
I was actually able to move from making my copies on a day-to-day basis to having things for the entire next week ahead of time, sometimes even 2 weeks out.
Knowing what boundaries I can set, and also knowing when it's okay to work and when it's okay not to work, and just take that time for me.
My number one advice is join. If you are considering it, well, you've probably found this at just the right time in your life.
Definitely highly recommend the program. It really helped me to have a successful year.
Be more proactive and intentional about how I use my time, how I grade, and also to make connections with other teachers.
It gave me back time with my family.
I've had more time at home. I've had more time to spend with family. It made it really easy.
Has allowed me to implement balance in my life.
My students and I have a completely different relationship now. I'm excited to be with the kids, and they can definitely sense that.
Now, here's the thing that you might be thinking. A lot of what creates teacher burnout is stuff beyond teachers' control, right? So I can offer individual solutions to a lot of problems. I can offer grading hacks and ideas for streamlining lesson planning, strategies for managing emails, staying organized, all that kind of stuff. That's all in the 40-hour program, and it does make a massive difference for teachers. But ultimately, we can't solve systemic problems with individual solutions. We need collective problem solving. We don't just need teacher self-care, we need community care, right? And ideally, teachers will be working in schools with administrators who also see the value in work-life balance, who create a school-wide culture that's focused on well-being and reducing time wasters and unnecessary work. And if you're thinking, well, that's an ideal, that's not reality, maybe your principal expects you to do, quote, whatever it takes for kids. That's one of my least favorite phrases, because what that generally means is it's all on the backs of teachers. We're not going to pull together as a community and do whatever it takes for kids. We're not going to have the funding and support and resources, but you as the teacher have to do whatever it takes for kids individually. Maybe your principal thinks like that. That's not an uncommon mindset in education. But you might be surprised to know that your principal is one of hundreds who has contacted me over the years asking, is there a 40-hour club for administrators? Because the truth is that everyone who works in schools feels overwhelmed by all the responsibilities. Everyone who works in schools is wearing way too many hats and doing tons of things that are not in the job description and that really are just above and beyond. And that feeling of never being able to get it all done, never being able to get ahead, being pulled in 100 different directions, it's not unique to teachers. Administrators are feeling that too. And one of the root problems is that the way we traditionally do school is inefficient. There's a lot of broken systems and cumbersome bureaucracies within most schools that just haven't been reimagined. So administrators, which would be principals, assistant principals, deans, counselors, everyone else carrying the load of school-based leadership, they need support too. And a lot of times they're not getting the professional development and support that they need. When they get trainings, it's like from the central office about data entry stuff. It's not about how to be a good leader. It's not about how to streamline your meetings or how to protect teachers' planning time, or how to balance the demands of parents with what can realistically be done by your staff. Most administrators are not getting support in those areas in the same way that teachers are not getting support in a lot of the areas they need. So that's where 40-hour comes in, because when an administrator's workload is simplified and streamlined and their energies are focused on what matters most, then everyone else in the school benefits. So last summer in 2021, we piloted the 40-hour leadership program for administrators with 50 schools that were truly committed to innovation. And the goal for administrators is similar to the goal for teachers. It's not about working 40 hours. It's about being intentional with your time. So their program is a 5-module program that helps administrators do a time audit to figure out where teachers' time is being spent and what they can remove from teachers' plates, and create more efficient, effective procedures for meetings, email, and that sort of thing. So 40-hour leadership is designed to change institutional systems. And it can be done at the school level. You do not have to have buy-in from the entire district, the state, the federal government. These are tweaks that can be made within schools. And it's really focused on what's best for kids, but also what is sustainable and manageable for the adults who are responsible for kids. Because I believe a system can't be what's best for kids if it causes the adults in their lives to burn out and subsequently underperform or quit. If we want to reduce the teacher attrition crisis, we have to center the well-being and the care and the work-life balance of those who are working in our classrooms. Great teaching and great school leadership is not achieved by working harder or putting in longer hours. I am bound and determined. I am spending the rest of my life. That is the hill I will die on, is that we do not need to work harder and put in longer hours to get the results we want. You could work 24 hours a day and it would still not all get done. We have to move away from this idea that more effort creates more results. Instead, work smarter. We have to prioritize the things that make the biggest impact. When administrators have the tools and support they need to be more organized and to manage their time well, everyone in the school reaps the benefits of that. So if you think that there is someone in your school who's an administrator, if you have a friend who's an administrator, if there's anyone in your district who is visionary, who is innovative, go to 40htw.com and click on leadership. Share more about the program. We also have a PDF brochure that you can send them that talks about all the data and the information, the pricing, all that kind of stuff. We also have a special version of 40-hour for instructional coaches to help them prioritize tasks and organize their time and then help the teachers they work with to do the same. So if you love this idea of maximizing contractual hours and creating a school-wide culture that's focused on productivity and well-being and making education a more sustainable career path for everyone in your building, here's how you can support the vision. If you haven't taken the 40-Hour Teacher Workweek program yet, we are accepting new members through July 27th. This is a year-long program. It begins each July, and it supports you through each season of the school year. So summer is the only chance to begin with a cohort of like-minded educators. You don't have to start using the materials right away. A lot of people wait until August or September when they're in school mode. That's absolutely fine because you never lose access to the resources. You can go at your own pace. But you do need to enroll this summer because I want you in there with this other cohort so you can get support. You can get in this program and start leading by example in your school. Find ways to set boundaries and still do a great job for kids. Show your colleagues and administrators that this is possible. If you can find a like-minded colleague, we have a join with a friend bonus. So you can enter each other's names in the referral section when you each sign up individually, and then you will both get your own $20 Amazon gift card in September. Having a colleague go through the program with you will enable you to get even better results. You'll be able to start shifting norms in your school. So if you have even one colleague who you think might want to do this with you, let them know, enter each other's names as your referrers, and you each get $20 back in the form of a gift card. If you have a good relationship with your admin or your instructional coach, if you have one, let them know about the programs that we're offering as well. And if you get a good response from them, you may be able to get your admin on board to pay for purchase orders for the teacher programs. We have an awesome customer support team at 40 Hour that can answer questions, handle purchase orders, help get everything set up so that folks are not paying out of pocket. My dream one day is to have partnered with enough districts that the bulk of our members have their schools provide this professional development for them instead of having people pay out of pocket. We are working more toward that. We have a greater percentage of schools paying versus teachers paying every single time we launch this program, and that is encouraging to me. We're not there yet, but really, if you're interested in this and you're just thinking, I just don't have the funds for it, or I have other things that I need to be spending my money on, tell your administrator. See if you can get school funds, and we'll do a purchase order. And the benefit there too is that everyone in the school starts using shared vocabulary and strategies and working toward a shared vision. That's where we want to get, right? We want the teachers, the coaches, everybody all sort of working towards these same goals and having these same mindsets about how should meetings operate? How should we be utilizing planning time? What are our norms around email? We want to get folks on the same page, but you can baby step toward that as your school budget allows. Maybe just you and your principal start for this year, or you and your AP, and you sort of expand from there. So if you've already taken 40 Hour, please do not be shy about telling other educators about it. We have to remove the stigma of prioritizing work-life balance. There's still this mentality that if you care about your own needs, that you somehow don't care about kids. We have to challenge that and be open about ways that we are working to find that overlap between what's best for kids and what's best for teachers. We've had over 48,000 teachers utilize the 40 Hour program. And that sounds massive, right? It is massive. It's incredibly exciting. But there's 3.5 million teachers in the US alone. So we have reached 1% of them. We've reached hardly anybody. And if they're not listening to teacher podcasts or reading teaching blogs or following teachers on social media, they may not know anything about this. They may not know that there's a more sustainable approach to teaching. So your recommendation of the program means way more than me telling them about it. And in fact, I attribute the success of 40 Hour, the fact that we've had 48,000 teachers go through this program, I attribute that almost entirely to word of mouth. It's teachers taking that leap of faith, seeing that it works, and then telling their friends it's the real deal. So please let your union know. Let your colleagues know. Post on your social channels. And that referral program applies for you too. If they list your name and email as the person who referred them when they sign up, you get a $20 gift card for each person. Friends, this is an extremely important year coming up. This is a crucial year. We are in a time of great transition in education where we are on the brink of a brand new phase. What aspects of pre-pandemic teaching will we try to return to? What did we try these past couple of years that we want to keep? What will the future of education look like? This is the time for intentionality, for reevaluating priorities, and for teachers to lead the way. We've had far too long now where the folks making decisions in education are far removed from the classroom or have never even been in a classroom. And it shows in our policy. We have to have teachers standing up. The same way that workers in all other industries, service industries and so on, have said, we demand better working conditions. We can't do an effective job without having the necessary supports. This is a time for teachers to rise up, take control of their time, and have an influence on the direction of schools. Do not settle for normal this coming school year. Take control of your personal and professional development. Lead the change in your school to focus on how to do fewer things better. We have to find a revolution in education. We have to shift the profession, find a sustainable approach to this work. And all of these 40-hour tools are here for you. They can help. Just go to 40htw.com to learn more. You can do this. Remember, it's not going to be easy. It's going to be worth it.
That the 40-Hour Club does for you is give you this strong, warm, and supportive community that I had not found anywhere else in any school. Yes, you always have your friends and your cohort and your colleagues at work, but this was just such a huge community that gives you access to everything you need, that answers your questions. So you don't have to do everything from scratch yourself. So I feel that this club has made me 10 times a better teacher than I was before. I knew that I was a good teacher before, but I'm even better now because of this club.
I learned the productivity principles, understanding how to set boundaries around my time, use that to make me more efficient, but also to have some downtime and learning how to turn off my brain when I've decided I'm not working so that my rest is actually restful.
Thank you, Angela, for your help. When distance learning kicked in because of the pandemic, I really didn't skip too much of a beat. Oh, I had to make adjustments and I made my share of errors, but hey, students and I, we got through it.
I think her grading sections are invaluable. I've learned so many tips and tricks. It's really saved my life. This program is transformative.
Highly recommend this. Go for it. You want to be a part of this system. Thank you, Angela. And thank you all my fellow educators who've been part of this to get me through this last 3 to 5 years of teaching with a smile.
Thank you, Angela, and thank you to everything. This club has made a huge difference in my life.